You know, in any business, understanding the competitive landscape, it's not just an advantage, it's absolutely essential for survival. But when you're surrounded by competitors, how do you figure out where you actually stand? And maybe more importantly, where do you go next? Well, today we're going to dive into a really powerful tool that helps answer exactly that.
Okay, let's jump right into this. I know at first glance this might look a little complicated, but just think of it as a brand's battle map. See, every single dot on here is either a company's product or a specific group of customers. And the whole map is built on two key ideas. For this one, we're looking at price on the horizontal axis and processing power on the vertical. But really, these could be any two things that customers care about in a market.
And that's the core question, isn't it? I mean, when every competitor is yelling to be heard, launching new features, tweaking prices, it's so easy to get lost in the noise. You need a compass, some kind of guide that's not based on guesswork, but on real, hard data. And this map is that guide.
All right, so let's break down exactly what this tool is and how it's put together. It's actually a lot simpler and way more powerful than you might think.
So, this is what we're talking about, a semantic positioning map. Now, the most important part of this whole definition is right at the end, based entirely on customer opinions. That's the whole ballgame. This isn't about what a company thinks about its own product or what they say in their marketing. No, this is a direct reflection of what the market, real customers, actually believes. It shows you exactly how they see you versus everybody else.
And you might be thinking, okay, building this looks super complicated, but the process is surprisingly straightforward. First, you just pick two product features that really matter. Then, you go out and survey customers. You ask them to rate different brands on a scale from 1 to 7 for those features. That's called a Likert scale. And finally, you just take all those scores, find the average, and plot them. That's it. That's how you get all those dots on the map. Okay, but here's where the map goes from being just interesting to being truly strategic. We're about to add a second layer of data. See, it's not just about where brands are right now, it's about where customers wish they were. This is the story of perception versus perfection.
So the first piece of the puzzle is all about perception. We start by collecting data, and you can see a table like this one here. We're asking customers to rate existing brands like Move, Rock, or Soft, on a whole bunch of different things, from design and battery life all the way to price. This gives us a really clear, data-driven snapshot of what the market looks like right now. It's basically the "you are here" marker on our map.
And here it is, the second absolutely crucial piece of the puzzle. We don't just ask about the brands that are already out there. We also ask different types of customers. We call them segments, like explorers who might want top performance, or savers who care most about price, to describe their ideal product. You know, what would be the perfect combination of processing power and price for them? This is the perfection data. This is the treasure on our map.
So it all comes down to this contrast, right? On one hand, you have the reality, the perception of where brands are sitting right now. And on the other hand, you have the desire, that perfection point of where different customers really want a product to be. And the space between those two, that is where all the opportunity, all the strategy is born.
Now for the really fun part. Let's see what happens when we put these two pieces together and reveal some real, actionable business opportunities. This is that aha moment where we overlay the two data sets and the whole strategic landscape just snaps into focus.
And we're back to our battle map, but now we're seeing it with totally new eyes. The solid dots, like Move and Rock, that's where customers think those brands are right now. But the see-through circles, like Explorers and Ahorradores, that's Spanish for savers, those are the ideal spots where those customers wish a product existed. So now you can see clear as day who is serving which customers, and more importantly, who is being ignored.
And this right here is the number one takeaway. You have to look for the empty spaces on the map. An area where you see an ideal customer group, but there are no brands nearby, that is a massive flashing green light. It's an unmet need. It's a whole chunk of the market just sitting there, waiting for someone to come along and build a product just for them.
Okay, so you found the gap. Now what? How do you take that insight and turn it into action? How do you actually move your brand's dot on the map so it's closer to your target customer's ideal spot? Well, it means you have to start making some really smart choices.
And that means knowing what your customers truly value. Take a look at this chart. It shows how important different features are. In this market, price is a huge deal, a perfect 10 in importance. But functionalities, way down at a 1.2. So what does that tell you? It tells a company that if they want to get closer to a price-sensitive group like the savers, changing the price is going to be way more effective than adding a bunch of new features.
And really, when you get right down to it, it all comes back to this one simple truth. Success is not random. The data shows this over and over again. The companies that manage to align what they offer with what customers actually want, well, those are the ones that win. This map is the tool that lets you measure that distance and plan your journey to get closer.
So to wrap this all up, a positioning map is just an indispensable strategic tool. It lets you see your own brand through your customers' eyes. It helps you understand what different people truly want. It lets you pinpoint those golden, untapped opportunities in the market. And at the end of the day, it helps you make much smarter decisions about where to invest your time and money to get the biggest bang for your buck.
So I'll leave you with the little thought experiment. Think about a brand that you're really loyal to, one you just love. Now, if you had to make a map with, say, price on one axis and maybe quality or style on the other, where would that brand's dot be? And where would your own personal ideal dot be? The closer those two dots are, the more you understand the true power of perfect positioning.